Black Dog After Dark is recorded in a video store by people who have been drinking. We swear a lot, and there's spoilers. It's not safe for work, unless you work in a video store and have also been drinking.
Like, I just stop with the stupid saying things.
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.
Roger, Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
I know that, Mr. Man. They also call them cereals. I'm not stupid, you know.
The story is ludicrous. You can imagine where it goes from here.
Fixes the cable.
It's just down the road at the edge of town. You know you shouldn't go there, especially after dark. Before you know what's happening.
Things breeding there.
It's too late.
You can't go down there!
Clive Barker, creator of Hellraiser, brings you a reason to really be afraid of the dark. NIGHTBREED.
And when Alex is finished playing Tetris...
Oh, fuck. Is he really? You're still playing Tetris? It must be wonderful to live 25 years ago. Welcome to Black Dog After Dark. It's After Dark. It's Black Dog.
Yep.
Black Dog After Dark.
Start. You look at your notes to see who you are.
I have so many notes for this movie.
I got a lot too.
Yeah. So we are in a video store in Vancouver. I am one of your hosts, Dylan Reimer, stand-up comic, occasional employee of Black Dog, and just general flick jockey. And to my left is...
My name's Alex. I work at Black Dog Video, have for a really long time, and I'm also a programmer at Vancouver's Rio Theatre.
I'm Darren Gay. I own this shoddy establishment deep in the bowels of East Van. We're talking on the phone, and I saw NIGHTBREED on the shelf, and I said, let's do NIGHTBREED. Which I've been wanting to watch anyways, since we got the new, that nice shiny director's cut a couple
And had you seen this movie? Let's pretend it's your pick, because I think it is.
Sure, let's go with my pick.
Memories.
I've seen it before, back, I guess, in the late 80s or whenever it came out. I think it was 88, 89. I can't remember when it came out. It was late 80s, early 90s, and
it has to be 90s.
I don't remember much about it. I just remember a lot of running through a graveyard and being pretty disappointed in it, actually. I didn't think it was that great a film.
Yeah.
Or that good a film.
Mm-hmm.
And then they released. There's been a couple cuts since then come out. One was like a 2.5 hour, almost 3 hour cut. It's called the Cabal cut or something like that, which is not the one we watched.
Okay.
The one we watched was a director's cut, where there's 20 minutes of new footage and then 40 minutes overall different footage put back into the movie by Clive Barker and I guess the guy that was restoring it with him. George Miller, Mac Miller, I don't know. Barney Miller.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my memory, which isn't much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You?
I'm a big Clive Barker advocate.
And he wrote and directed this.
Yeah,
movie.
he shouldn't have.
No, he should have maybe wrote it, but not directed it.
I don't think they should have made this movie at all. It's funny because Candyman was just playing at the Rio, and so there's a lot of talk about whether or not Candyman is a good movie. Honestly, I think Clive Barker's only made one, in my opinion, one genuinely good movie, which is Hellraiser.
And even that.
He didn't direct Candyman.
No, okay, whatever the case. My point is that Clive Barker's work in literature is far more enjoyable. I love his books. Weave World, hey listener, if you're looking for a book, read Weave World. I've read
Weave World. It is a lot of fun.
And the Thief of by the way, Gus might be interested in this. The Thief of Always. It's like a kid's book,
right? Written
by Clive Barker. It's just a blast. His fantasy novels are amazing.
Yeah.
So I don't think I ever properly saw this movie until yesterday. How about you, Alex?
I saw it on VHS sometime in the early 90s. I don't remember much about it. I remember like Cronenberg running around. David Cronenberg, who's in the film, running around doing bad things, but I didn't really remember much about it. I think it was more like it was on at a party, and we weren't really. That happens sometimes.
That seems most of your movie watching back in the 90s.
In Dartmouth,
was that Dartmouth party?
Well, not all of them. Sometimes I sat down and watched. Actually watched the film, but this was one on in the background. I think it had to do with the fact that we just weren't that into it, and we would just tune in like we were all yakking and drinking through it or whatever, my friends and I. Kind of like we do through this podcast. But I knew I had seen this film. Didn't remember it that well. I remember Cronenberg.
So we're basically all going in cold.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Because I may have seen it, but it was like rented it and fell asleep watching.
I know I've seen it, but I don't remember much about it. I just remember it not being very good.
So spoilers. This movie isn't very good.
Yeah.
I thought of a funny name for it. Either 90s Breed Or NIGHTBREED.
NIGHTBREED.
Or 90s Brood.
Well, I keep calling it Night Hoof.
How about Nightboard?
Fuck yeah.
I keep calling it Night Hoof because that was an old band name of mine.
Really? Night Hoof?
Night Hoof. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'll tell you though,
when goth Canadian?
When the film started though, watching it this time, all the elements were there because obviously Clive Barker. Mm-hmm. Hey, it's got David Cronenberg.
Did you guys?
It's got Danny Elfman doing this amazing soundtrack. I remember thinking, really "Wow, am I in for like some great surprise?"
When you guys watched it, was there a little blurb before the movie started with Clive Barker and the other guy?
I don't care. I want to go in cold. I never want to know.
That's the way
you don't have to go in cold ever again. You went in cold once.
I'll never be going in cold.
You can just.
Oh, I'm warmed
maybe
up.
Give a heads up to whoever rents it.
There's steam coming off your head.
Yeah. Anyways, so this movie's. I've never. I with the exception of the RoboCop remake, which is the soonest I've hated a movie, which was technically before the opening credits.
Wow.
Because when the word NIGHTBREED comes along the screen, you see like all the characters.
I don't like when they do that.
It was fucking. I was like, this movie's terrible. Immediately, and I was like, okay, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt, but Clive Barker should have known better than to show like it's not cool to show scenes behind the words.
Nope.
And then I saw the name David Cronenberg, and I was like, uh-oh.
No, for me it was like, oh yeah, Cronenberg.
He's fucking terrible in this.
Well, he's no worse than anybody else.
I
thought he was the most interesting character in this whole movie.
Oh, just because he wears the creepy mask every now and then.
Which is a really cool mask. It starts out, dude's having a nightmare, which is a really confusing, like, bullshit kind of running through some weeds, and you don't know what's going on. He wakes up and his girlfriend's sitting on the bed watching him sleep. Like, I'd be like, that'd be more scary than having a nightmare. Like, why are you watching me sleep?
And cliche number 2, she's doing the thing that you only ever see women do in the movies, which is like they just boned, and then for whatever reason they put on the guy's like dress shirt and then button it up.
Oh.
Well, no, like the thing with the woman in the dress shirt.
Yeah,
why not a T-shirt?
A T-shirt,
From my experience, it's always a fucking T-shirt or your robe.
Yeah, who puts like you're going to work in the office shirt?
Yeah, here exactly.
Whatever that's called. What that shirt's called?
I don't know, the one I'm wearing right now.
Yeah, with buttons on.
Your waiter shirt.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but they button it up. But they're still sexy because their legs are bare.
Well, did they just have sex? He was asleep.
Oh, whatever. I'm sure they boned.
She's like just staring at him, which is really weird and creepy. And then she says he's having nightmares, and her suggestion, she says, "Oh, I think we should get out of. We got to get out of Calgary for a few days."
And I was like, "Yeah, Calgary."
That made me laugh out loud because when was the last time you saw a movie, especially a movie that's not a Canadian movie, set in Calgary?
I can only name one, and it's a Canadian film.
Way Downtown.
Way Downtown.
Yeah, and they actually like a kitchen party. I think is set in Calgary as well. The same director.
Oh, and then I think Bruce McCullough did one.
Right, but the thing is, this isn't any of those kind of movies.
No,
this is a horror movie.
This is a horror
done
movie
by a British guy.
Yeah,
with an American cast.
Yeah,
except for Cronenberg. I have to assume the original story that Clive Barker wrote is set in Cabal. Is set in Calgary.
I haven't
for some reason.
That one I haven't read, but why Calgary?
I know, I think is awesome actually. I thought it was a really cool choice because why not? You know, like everything's set in New York or LA or London or whatever.
But there's this thing where because they're looking. What's the name of the Promised Land? That shithole they all hang out in.
Promised Land.
Yeah, where all the monsters live.
It's called
Monster Mash Land.
Midian or Midorian.
Midian or what? Yeah, I think it's
Midian.
Midian, yeah. Like median.
Yeah.
Like meridian.
Like medium.
But they act like Calgary is the end of the fucking earth, and it's like, you got to go up. It's like, well, there's Edmonton. It's like actually, a 3.5 hour drive north to Edmonton.
Edmonton's mentioned later in the movie.
Yeah,
as well.
I know, but so where the fuck is this place? But they act like it's northern exposure.
But it's funny because when they actually go there, it's like I don't know, a half-hour car ride.
Yeah, it's like
it's just on the road.
It's just next to Drumheller.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
and nobody knows it's there.
There's a Tim Hortons next to the fucking Zombieland. Oh, by the way, the lead character's name is Boone, which I assume is baboon. Every time they said Boone, I just started laughing.
I thought it was Spoon. For the longest I thought his name, she kept calling him Spoon. I thought that was like a little nickname. Spoon.
That's because he's good at spooning. Anyways, so she's sitting on the bed staring at him sleep.
Yeah. And so she says, well, you're still having the nightmares. You should go back and talk to creepy Dr. Cronenberg. And so he does.
Yeah.
And then cut to...
And how does this guy have his fucking license, by the way?
Because he's really creepy and
at one point he's chasing someone around. There's cops everywhere. He just pulls out a machete and starts like chasing one of his patients. Like, who is this guy? And why do the police listen to everything he fucking says?
Because he's a doctor. He's an authority figure. And they're Calgary police.
Oh God! And it's so boring when those scenes in the office.
Well, you know why? Because Clive Barker does not know how to direct a movie. He doesn't know how to direct actors. He doesn't know how to get anything out of an actor to have any kind of performance or any kind of character.
You think he might ask the actor director that he's got in his fucking movie?
What would you do?
Oh, hey, why don't we trade?
Yeah.
Clive Barker could have been the fucking British. Hey, I'm a creepy psychiatrist.
Cronenberg would have directed this.
And if Cronenberg had directed Nightbreed, it would have been good.
I think it would have been great.
Because the premise is not bad.
No, I like the premise actually.
But it was so fucking boring.
But and then the thing is also there's no motive. Like when so we cut to like a family, a woman and a dude. They're having a little frolic on the couch, and she goes to get a bite out of the fridge. The old open the freezer door trick and then close it. Yeah, you just knew that was coming, and so she closed the freezer door, and then dude with the mask on hacks her to death with a machete or something like that, a big knife.
And at first, I thought it was some kind of creature from The Dream or something.
Right. I think that's what you're led to believe. Yeah.
Did they ever get around to what Cronenberg's
his
motive was?
Nope.
Or how he knew about this? The amusement park they all live.
I think he found out from Spoon.
What, from the guy who pulled his face off?
No, I think maybe before that, because Boone is going to talk to him and telling him about his Boone.
You know.
No, Boone. No, that's not. Yeah.
Is it even a name? Have you ever met anybody named?
I did. I went to high school.
Well, Dartmouth doesn't count.
Last name Boone. Daniel Boone.
Anyway,
great literary.
So I guess it could have been a surname, Boone.
So it is his last name.
He's banging a hot singer.
His last name is Boone. They're calling him Boone by his last name.
Yeah, so his first name's Aaron, last name Boone.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't hear the Aaron part.
Yeah, and so he's going to see Cronenberg. Cronenberg is he's killing people for some reason.
Yeah, because he's a psychiatrist. That's all they do is murder people.
So he convinces Boone that he's the murderer by dosing him with LSD and telling him it's lithium. And then he kind of goes crazy and gets, I think he gets hit by a truck or something and ends up in the hospital.
Boone? Yes, but doesn't he go to his girlfriend's concert?
Oh, yeah. Actually, it's really funny because as soon as she started, they show her on stage, and I go, oh man, this is going to be terrible. And then it is. She's like a terrible singer.
It's almost as bad as Strange Days music.
I think it's worse. No, it's way worse.
Yeah, it's actually worse.
But it's funny because I'm watching it, and I say to myself, oh, fuck, she's terrible. And then they show a scene of Boone, but I think he's strung out on LSD or something.
He's all fucked up on the acid.
And everyone in the crowd is juking and jiving to the music, except for Boone, who's staring at her like he's reading my thoughts, like, man, she's fucking terrible.
Yeah,
because he's at this point in the film, the psychiatrist has already implied that he's somehow guilty. Yeah. That Boone is guilty for a series of murders, and that the cops have come to him looking to see if any of his patients were capable of this.
Right.
He gives Boone 24 hours to turn himself into the police and gives him this medication that'll supposedly help.
Acid, yeah.
But it fries them, yes.
Yeah, well, of course. Especially when you don't know you're on acid and someone gives you acid. That's not cool, man.
And
not
just
cool
on a side
when
note,
someone's trying to frame you for a series of homicides.
Actually, the lyrics to her song
I've written down here too.
It's just this over and over again. I want a brave man. I want a caveman. Whoa, Johnny.
Yeah.
And it's just that repeat.
Yeah, I want a caveman.
In Canadian music, that's actually pretty accurate.
Yeah,
how bad music up here is.
Was that be like an Atlanta Miles song or something like that, maybe?
Yeah, like
The Box or Frozen Ghost, maybe. But
yeah, maybe Platinum Blonde.
CanCon.
Yeah.
I'm at a loss.
Yeah, for bad...
Glass Tiger?
Glass Tiger, you could throw them into that stew. That
Cats Can Fly.
Is that a band, Cats Can Fly?
Very brief.
No. Men Without Hats?
They're Australian, aren't they?
Yeah, I like Men Without Hats.
They're from
Men at Work.
Yeah, they're from...
I've heard you singing Men Without Hats at karaoke.
That's
pretty
right,
good.
you damn right you have.
Yeah, you can dance.
Damn straight.
I didn't dance, but I could have if I wanted to. Well,
Next time I'll sing that I Want a Caveman.
It's so
and there's a really unsexy fantasy scene. He starts freaking out, and it's him and maybe his girlfriend, or I don't know who it is, but they're both wearing total Sears underwear.
Right.
Because this movie is like PG-13, so there's no actual nudity.
There's a little bit of nudity coming up.
There's an awful lot of killing.
Yeah, there's a lot of killing.
Is this movie restricted? I don't even know. It seemed like a pretty PG-13 movie to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're wearing like tighty whities, and and you're supposed to get all erotically turned on.
Yeah, there's nothing sexy about tidy whities on anybody.
Like at least
maybe Fabio.
Different colored underwear, maybe, but
white underwear. It's just a bad idea. It doesn't matter like who's wearing it. Never buy or wear white underwear. Trust me.
No, no. There's a reason, and white sheets are out too. While we're on the subject,
why?
Well, it's just dirt shows up.
Dirt just shows up.
And there's nothing there on a white sheet that isn't there on a black sheet.
It's true.
But, you're never even bare it. Exactly. On the off chance you actually bring somebody home.
I would, I don't do that too much anymore, but maybe just wash the sheets.
He doesn't have sheets. He sleeps on the roof.
Hey, I went out bare mattress and then some Febreze. You're set,
They come in garbage bags.
Saves you a lot of laundry bills.
Sleep in a pile of halibut.
Yeah. Well, how often do you change your halibut? That's expensive fish. I would go with the cheaper fish. Go with like a turbot or something like that. It's a lot cheaper.
Boone's answering machine. So Boone gets smoked by a bus or whatever. Yeah. And
he ends up in the hospital.
His answering machine goes off. This is Boone. You know what to do. Adios. So everything is 90s.
Yeah. He reminded me of the lead actor from I don't know who his name is, but in Society. He's like that. He's a good looking dude. He's got the big flowing locks, but he can't act his way out of like a paper bag.
Well, he can be good because he looked familiar, and even though he wasn't brilliant in the film, later on, he's in A River Runs Through It.
Right, Craig Schaefer is his name.
Yeah, and he's not bad in that. He was much better.
That's a better movie, directed by a better director.
Way better director, and much better movie. Yeah. And even though it's more of a Brad Pitt kind of vehicle, but it's still, he was good in.
Anyways, let's get back to this.
So when does the guy pull his face off?
Okay, yeah, so he ends up in the hospital. The cop says to him, "Bad trip, old buddy," right? Because he's freaking out. It's like, just like stop with the stupid saying things.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I said this to myself during the movie. But yeah, this is when he meets the crazy guy in the hospital. I can't remember his name. He was one of the more interesting characters I thought.
He was the only thing that I sort of kind of liked, and not until the third act.
Right, yeah.
I thought he was awful until the last 15 minutes.
Well, he just rips it. He's like he's talking about, what's the place called again? Midian?
Yeah.
He's talking about that, and then Boone says, "Why are you talking about Midian?" And he goes, "Yeah," and then he starts pulling his face off.
Yeah.
His neck and his head and his face. And
you're like me when we just happen to meet in this hospital, but only you and me, when we die, we go to fucking Midian.
Yeah.
And it's going to be so great because we're special. Hey, look at this. So I'm going to pull my... But he doesn't rip his face.
Well,
he rips his hair out.
He rips like...
scalps himself.
Except for his face. His neck is the side of his head, is the top of his head. And I'm thinking, just before that happened, I think, oh, well, he's going to team up with this guy. They're going to go to Midian and fight. I don't know what they're going to do, actually. But then he doesn't. He pulls his face off, and that's what they kind of... I thought that's the end of that guy.
Yeah. And then...
tries to peel face off. We've all been there.
You know what I wrote? I wrote, guy pulls his face off. Fucking loser.
Yeah. Go pull someone else's face off. Why are you pulling your own face off?
And by the way, the NIGHTBREED were a bunch of fucking pussies. Like,
don't even get me going on that.
I hated all of them. It was like being stuck at a croquet party with a bunch of hipsters in the 90s.
That looked like...
But the doctor goes, in reference to the guy who pulled his face off, "He's dying. I think he wants to die."
Yeah.
Like, or you could try and not have him die.
Yeah, you're a doctor. He's actually in the hospital.
Yeah.
You have all the machines. Don't let him die. Can you die by ripping your face off? Would that kill you?
It's
like there's no major organs. Yeah, Alex, what do you think?
Yeah, well, I've heard pretty insane stories. There was a guy once I read about in a tabloid or something. They could have made it up, but supposedly he got scalped from the eyes up when his hair got caught in gears, but they did manage to reattach it. So
oh, wow.
There's a happy ending there. But yeah, I suppose you could.
Didn't that woman get her face ripped off by a baboon? Pet baboon? Or
a chimpanzee years ago.
Well, yeah, they ripped both of her hands off, too.
Yeah,
you like the IPA.
Crazy.
Yeah, no, that's a crazy
story. Her neighbor had a pet chimp.
It was her neighbor's pet chimp, and yeah,
it got out, and they tried to just get him.
They tried to reason with it.
Yeah,
get it back in the house.
Get it back in the house, and it freaked out on
ripped her face off and her hand. Why? Well, first thing is, why do you have a fucking chimp living in your house?
Yeah, the chimp used to wear human clothes and stuff.
Of course. Well, there's a roommate. I'm sure the chimp was paying rent and everything. But still, I can see a chimp if you wanted, like, get into the HOV lane.
Sure.
Yeah, just take the chimp.
That was BJ and the Bear. The premise of BJ and the Bear.
No,
the orangutan was every which way but loose. But
and
BJ
any which
and
way
the
you
Bear.
can. Yeah, BJ and the Bear was a. It wasn't a bear.
Chimp.
It was a chimp.
Why was it called a bear?
I think it was his name.
So how many movies are people driving around with chimps?
Well, not enough. Well, I'm sure if we sat down and thought about it, we could probably come up with like a dozen movies with chimps in cars.
Bringing Up Baby was a leopard, wasn't it?
Yes.
Well, what was the one with a chimp? There's an old black and whiter with a chimp.
Bonzo.
Bedtime for Bonzo. Ronald Reagan, right?
King Kong you're thinking of.
What was that?
Yeah.
Oh, he was a gorilla, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was just a really big monkey.
My friend has a joke I really like, where he says, "Yeah, I went and saw that new Peter Jackson King Kong movie, and afterwards all my friends in the car are like, that was just ridiculous, Her neck would have broken the way King Kong was throwing her around, and oh my God, and what, she's not getting cold on top of the Empire State Building?" And I'm just thinking, yeah, what was with that giant ape?
That's actually pretty good. Yeah, the original is so good.
Anyways, let's stop talking about that good movie.
Yeah,
and talk about this terrible fucking movie.
All right, back to this movie. So after the dude pulls his face off, I guess our hero guy, he busts out of
the hospital.
The hospital somehow. I think maybe the girlfriend helps get him out. I can't remember. They're driving to Midian, which is, I don't know, a few clicks up the road from Calgary, because it doesn't take them very long to get there, and it's sitting right out in the open on the road. Like, I don't understand why is it such a secret place?
It's really easy to. It's like you could confuse it for a mini golf course.
It could have been a mini golf course. It should have. That would have been.
It
awesome.
looked like a mini golf course.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Anyway,
Salvation, Northern Alberta.
Yeah, so it's really easy to find just north of Calgary. If you're ever looking for Midian, just north of Calgary.
How did he find Midian without a map? Is a question I have.
Because it's on the road.
Because Faceboy is like, oh, you got to go up to Swift Current and then hang a left
at Albuquerque
into Jasper or wherever the fuck it is.
Yeah. So there's no Google Maps or anything like that. He didn't write anything down.
And then they get there, and then Rubber Dreads Man.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of creepy statues and stuff, and then he falls asleep in the graveyard as one does because he's tired. I guess he's coming down off the acid, and he's probably all strung out, so he has to have a nap.
Is he with Faceboy at this point?
No, he shows up later. But he runs into two other ones. One's like a little nebbish, like squirrely guy, and the other guy's like a mean dreadlocked rubber like you just mentioned, rubber dreadlock guy.
Corn braids. He's got like Bo Derek 10 core braids.
Yeah. He's like Axl Rose when he fell asleep.
He just horribly made a comeback, but
he tells him to shut the fuck up. You're meat.
Yeah, he said it's so meat for the beast.
Yeah, he's meat. He's my meat. And then so he took a good bite out of him, which I was surprised that he did. But that makes you a NIGHTBREED. Yeah, but nobody kind of knew that then. Like we didn't know. The audience didn't know.
Because of the prophecy.
Yeah.
Otherwise known as a screenwriter's cop-out. Fuck, I'm sick of prophecies.
And then so all the cops show up with David Creepy Cronenberg, and who just sells him out like instantly. He goes out and talks to him, then yells at the cops. He's got a gun.
Oh yeah. The cops have surrounded Baboon, and and they're like, "Hey, Broody boy, you're under arrest." And then Cronenberg is like, "No, let me
go talk to him."
And he walks up to him. Yeah, then he just whips around and goes, "He's got a gun," and jumps out of the way. And the cops are so stupid they just shoot him
like 30 or 40 times.
Yeah,
they pump like 25 to 50 rounds in them. That's crazy. Like it's a little overkill.
And none of them answered for any. By the way, nobody answers for anything.
Nope. And then even afterwards, and the cop says to Cronenberg,
"Where's the gun?"
Where's the gun? He goes, he was just reaching into his coat. Like, yeah. And then, okay.
He was getting his comb.
Yeah.
But his comb looked like a handleless, triggerless gun.
People have been killed for less. So he's dead, and he's taken to the morgue. And then there's a scene where they go into the morgue. I guess the girlfriend's going to the morgue, and there's one door that says high risk of infection. Like plastered across one door, like don't open that one. Don't even go near that one. Like,
no, at least they put a sign.
I guess that was nice.
Anyway, so he flies out of the fucking morgue, right?
Yeah. And actually, he leaps out of the window, and like, what morgue has a window in it? Like, their morgue's always in the basement.
I thought they were in the basement. Yeah.
Yeah. So he jumps out.
It's a morgue with a view.
He jumps out of the basement, which is like 4 stories down or something, and disappears. And I guess...
and they all treat it like it's no big deal.
No big deal.
Like,
yeah.
Someone's just stolen the body or something.
Threw it out the window and then jumped out the window
threw it
themselves.
over their shoulder and then leapt out the window.
Like somebody would do that.
Well, it's Calgary. You never know.
It's true. But nothing exciting happens there, so I was excited about anything.
Cadaver rodeo. Cadaver rodeo. Yeah.
She's in the bar or he's in the bar. So I remember there's one thing that always bothers me in movies. I think it's her. She goes up to the barkeep and she goes,
draft.
Yeah. What'll it be? She goes, I'll have a draft. Or when they say, I'll have a beer. Well, we only have one, so I guess you'll have this one beer that we have.
I have been to... We've talked about this on another episode. Which episode was it? I can't remember.
I bet it was the My Bloody Valentine episode.
I think it was. Because I have actually played small towns in Canada
that have one beer on
where
tap.
you can walk up and just say, give me a beer.
Give me a beer.
And they're just like, they'll hand you a pint of swill.
But she asked for draft.
But in this case, it's weird because she goes,
draft.
I want to guarantee I have a hangover tomorrow.
Yeah.
Give me draft.
Oh, I prefer draft anyway.
How unclean are those pipes? Great.
Yeah. Well, especially in a place like that. At this point, they're making their way back to Midian. Because they've escaped, they've had some beer.
She meets that woman.
Right, yeah, that woman in the bar. I can't remember what her name is in the bar.
Chrissy? I think her name is
she's there. She meets her in the bathroom because she's in the bathroom crying because Boone's dead, and she tries to cheer her up. They want to get drunk and they go do some shots.
Are they friends?
No, they just meet. They meet in the bathroom there because the other woman comes in while
women are always meeting in the bathroom.
That's a good place to meet, I suppose.
Yeah.
What's his girlfriend's name, anyways? Do we know what her name is?
I don't fucking know.
No, Dolores. Is that it? No? Alex?
Sure.
What's her name?
Remember.
No, nobody knows her name?
No, Buntha.
Okay, let's go with Buntha.
Buntha. So
Buntha meets
Christine or Charlotte or
something like that.
Yeah.
And in the bathroom, and so they hit it off. She's there trying to pick up a dude.
Oh.
Then Buntha leaves, and she's somebody buys her a drink.
Yeah.
The man in the corner bought you a drink, and she winky. Curtis, the banker who moved here from Edmonton. Curtis, the banker. Curtis is.
Oh, yeah, Curtis
turns out to be David
Cronenberg. I wasn't surprised by that at all.
I wasn't either.
So Boone's back in Midian, and there's this really fun shot that I like that they showed him on like the surface of the place. It's like an old graveyard, and it's sort of the camera just goes down to the depths, and it goes through the layers of dirt. And then there's a body. It's like some guy got wedged in the dirt, and he's just like he has no room, like he's like buried alive.
Yeah,
and he's still there, and the camera just goes by him. I like that.
I didn't even notice that.
I thought that was pretty awesome. So he's now the hunky shirtless. He doesn't have a shirt anymore.
By the way, for the last 4 or 5 scenes, Boone has been running around in a leather jacket and white T-shirt with a fucking bullet hole in it, like a bloody hole. Like, and he's going to like out in public and stuff, and no one. Yeah. Like at one point, he goes into a hotel just with a big bloody hole in his.
Nobody says that. What's Calgary?
This movie, there's so many wasted moments and leads. Like, I really like the woman she meets in the bar, and you think they're going to have this great adventure together, and she's killed off.
She's killed like immediately, yeah.
So she goes in. Because Buntha helps the little. Although, okay, the one good thing I will say about this movie is the practical effects. I think the makeup is pretty.
Yeah, there was a lot of cool. Look, the porcupine woman was cool. The half moon face guy, I didn't like him.
You know what I kept? You know his name is Mac Tonight.
That's what I kept thinking of the Mac Tonight commercials.
Oh yeah.
Mac Tonight was a half moon man, and he would play piano and sing Mac the Knife, but Mac Tonight.
So Bobby Darin's estate actually sued successfully too, because it was his persona they were spoofing.
Maybe Kevin Spacey can get some work if they ever bring back Mac Tonight.
Why'd you bring up Kevin Spacey?
Oh no, I forgot.
Well, that brings you to the next scene.
I was hoping to get through this whole podcast without the name Kevin Spacey.
All these scenes that Barker reacts, and he's got Cronenberg wanking it in the shower. I don't know what was with that. I don't know.
She helps the creepy little kid, the thing who turns into the girl, and then she's sort of mildly threatened, vaguely threatened by all the other monsters as she sort of walks around.
She doesn't even notice,
and she doesn't care. I was like, oh, look at all these freaks, and she's like,
whatever. I live in Calgary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's thinking about her next song she's going to do. Yeah. So, and I have written down here that they mentioned the head guy who made Midian. I have his name. His name's Appleby, right? That's what I have written down.
Like the restaurant Applebee's.
Yeah. So it's like Midian is an Applebee's. Is that? Anyways, So
yeah, they mention this guy, and you don't see him until the end, and then it's supposed to be so fucking profound.
And it wasn't.
And it wasn't. It was just lame, flaccid, this big flaccid cock of a movie. I would have rather stared at
a big hard cock of a movie.
At baboon's fucking fly. I would have rather stared at a baboon's cock for 2.5 hours.
Big veiny cock.
Then something might happen with a baboon's cock. Whereas this, and she's just not. It's like she's at West Edmonton Mall. Like, oh, whatever. Yeah. But no, it's like there's one bit where it's like one of the NIGHTBREEDs is in another room, and she's kind of standing there. It is like a cave, and he's creeping towards her, and then she like walks away, and his hand goes, ugh, and misses her, and then he just kind of goes like, there goes the neighborhood.
Really?
Yeah, he says, there goes the neighborhood, and it's like, well, if you're such an evil, spooky, grab her and kill her
and eat her or something. But no, she's walking. She's nonplussed by the freaks that I've written here. She walks by a guy whose head's in his stomach, like, and it's like, no, look at that. It's like she saw that yesterday or something like that.
And they all have something dumb to say. It's like she just wanders around looking at things, and then a scary monster will go something like, well, little girl, welcome to the fun park. Yeah. And then she'll just kind of walk away.
Yeah, well, where's the fun park? And then we have I think it's the other woman who was the mother of the daughters gives all the exposition about what's happened. I think her reaction was, she said, that's not so bad. That they've been forced underground, but most of them have been murdered, by people throughout the ages. That's right. He has a pin. It's a butterfly, and he doesn't put it in his lapel. He sticks it right into his chest.
Again, it's like hanging out with people who are trying so hard to freak you out.
Yeah.
So and in the background, in the midst all this makeup and stuff, there's a fucking parrot. Did you notice that? A parrot you could see. There's probably some dude walking on Commercial Drive right now with a parrot just like that on his shoulder.
Feeding little crackers.
Just being a dickhead walking around with a parrot. There's always one of those morons in your neighborhood.
Parrot, snake,
But like, I'm supposed to be impressed with a fucking parrot?
Maybe that's they only had enough
budget. A Venus flytrap in the window.
I used to have a Venus flytrap.
So did I. I tried to feed it ground beef, but it didn't work.
No, the thing just died.
Yeah, good. If those things ever evolve, we're fucked.
Just start walking around.
That would have been cool, though, like a big Venus flytrap guy or something.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Debbie Carapy, Venus Flytrap?
Venus Flytrap.
Best DJ. Second best to Johnny.
Johnny was the best.
Anyway, so Boone gets himself arrested again. He gets beat up.
What is with this? It's like he's black or something.
And then he meets a priest he meets a priest in prison for some reason. Like all of a sudden, there's a priest in the movie. And then they capture that Hare Krishna looking guy, the little meat guy, leave him out in the sun, and then he explodes, which was okay.
And they don't act all that weird about it.
No, the guy just exploded in the sun.
Let the guy, like, they don't, and he's the most human looking of the NIGHTBREED. You think, like, if you bring someone and they start, like, spontaneously combusting in front of him, you're going to offer them some help, even if you suspect
because he's
a bad dude, like he's right in front of them.
But why are some of them walking around and others aren't?
Because some of them are affected by the sun, some aren't.
Then why didn't the little girl fucking explode? She's just lying there.
She turned into like a little monkey girl. Yeah. There's no explanation.
The face guy.
It was this face guy that got peeled his face off. And they got the giant head.
Like he's driving around, but it's sort of slightly shaded wind.
Right.
He's driving a fucking like Studebaker into town.
It's cool looking.
And then he kind of gets out, and he even goes into because they bust him out of prison, right?
Right. Okay, so the Hare Krishna guys exploded, and then in retaliation, they set the police car on fire, which I thought was hilarious because the whole thing's up in flames, but the guy walks over and pulls the radio, and he's talking on the radio while the whole car is on fire.
And he's like, "Who did this?"
It's
also
insane.
What's with the scene in the hotel with the guy's head being put on the desk?
I was about to ask that.
Oh right, I don't remember.
And whose head was it?
Because I remember fucking baboon walks in. Hotels are places where they keep an eye on you when you walk in.
Yeah.
If you're not a customer, they want you to fuck off. You can't. I know this because you can't use the washroom anywhere.
No.
Or you have to pretend like you're a customer to use the washroom.
Yeah. I'll always pretend like you're supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Yes.
And baboon just strolls in with a fucking his
bullet hole in his chest.
He hasn't bought a new T-shirt yet.
Well, where's he gonna? He's dead. Where's the shop for like calling dead guys?
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. So,
where could you possibly get a shirt in Alberta?
They don't sell shirts in Alberta.
That's right. They don't. And was anyone else getting a serious Lost Boys vibe?
Yeah, a little bit, maybe. I don't know.
Because Boone reminded me of all the things about Lost Boys I don't like.
Like Jason, he was the Jason.
He was the Jason Patrick. Actually, Jason Patrick is good in the Lost Boys, but I don't like his character.
Lost Boys is a better movie as well.
Much better movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, so why? What the fuck were they doing in that hotel?
I don't know. I remember that because there's a crazy old coot that's walking around talking. And I think Cronenberg kills him.
No, but I hate it when they always think it's so fun to put John Landis in a fucking movie, but they don't realize John Landis can't fucking act.
Most directors can't.
Yeah, but
act.
Who's
John Lewis?
John Landis is the one famous for putting people in his movies.
True.
Adam McGowan's in
is he?
One of his films.
Yeah, and Spielberg's
all his movies have cameos by directors.
And Spielberg's in the Blues Brothers.
Is he?
And
I barely remember the Blues
Truffaut is in Close Encounters, who's actually really good now.
Well, he's great in that.
I don't know. Everyone says that. I don't.
No, I think he's great.
Cassavetes is in...
he was okay.
Cassavetes is in one of the worst films ever, The Fury.
I like The Fury. I like that movie.
Horrible.
I saw it on television when I was a kid. I've never seen it since, and I thought this is crazy.
Like Kurt Russell's beach scene when he's running down the beach with the big bulge, and then he's...
Why would you want that? Why would you like that? No, I'm a big Brian De Palma fan, and so I want to watch that again. So
it's awful.
Yeah, maybe I'll be the judge of that.
Okay, so
bring it on the podcast.
For whatever reason, they're in a hotel in Alberta,
and
they're only there long enough to find the maitre d' or the whatever the maitre d', the bellboy. What do you call it? The guy at the concierge. Gets his head chopped off or whatever.
And it's wrapped in newspaper or something like that. Like
it's left on the desk, isn't it?
What?
I don't even remember. I remember it showing up, but I was like, well, I don't really know what's going on. So after they set the car on fire, and so then I'll have another one too, please. So then it goes.
I'll take a green one, yeah.
So then it goes, and this is like the scene from Jaws when they get all the local yahoos, all the hicks that have all the weapons. To get them all together to go attack all the freaks.
But without a Richard Dreyfuss there to make it funny.
Yeah, no, all of a sudden, how many hicks are... It's a stupid question. Yeah, how many hicks are in Calgary and Alberta that have...
It's creepy. Cronenberg's got... And then Boone starts walking around. And he goes into one room and he's all like, oh, and it pulls back and you see all these fucking butchered rednecks.
Right.
Presumably they didn't get up from their chair and go and stop the machete-wielding lunatic. Because I've been to Alberta. They're real passive folks.
Yeah.
You know, they don't question anything in Alberta.
So people are getting murdered. They're not going to step in.
Then there's a house of cards.
Like an actual house of cards.
Yeah, it's like there's a dead guy sitting there with his throat slit,
right.
and then there's a house of cards in front of him.
Right.
So presumably, either Bandage Face went in and fucking killed everyone so quickly and efficiently that
did knock over the house of cards,
or he murdered everybody. And I think this is what happened. He murdered everybody, and then he built a house of cards.
Why would he stop to do that?
Because he's crazy.
Well, that probably makes more sense because I don't think a lot of the hicks could probably build a house of cards.
That's right.
Because it's way past their motor skills.
They were playing cards, and then he went in and murdered them, and then he thought it'd be funny to build a house of cards.
That's hilarious.
It's so fun. It was such a fucking stupid. It was like something out of a Tool music video. except those are actually scary.
Speaking of Tool music videos, then we have a scene when the woman who's the mother of the daughter, like she turns like she's naked all of a sudden and sweaty, and naked woman super toked the cop.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, let's cut to the chase then.
Okay.
All the fucking cops, boom, they go to Median or wherever they go.
Right. So was she in Median, or I thought she was in a hotel?
She was in Median. No, okay. Wait, no. So they bust Boone out of. Yeah, she does that when they bust Boone out of the bunker. That's when she does it. But she doesn't like kill him. She just blows smoke.
Yeah, she blows smoke. Like she gives him a super toke, and then and he passes out or he freaks out or something.
Then they get in the fucking car and they drive.
Why does she have to be naked for that? Is this like Clive Barker's? Awesome. This is my one chance to get a naked woman in the film.
Yeah. Well, actually, if you read Clive Barker, there's a lot of useless
nudity.
But it's the same with Neil Gaiman.
But if it's in a book, it's in a book. If it's in the movie, it's a different thing. You're actually asking somebody to do it.
To get naked and paint your body black. She does that, and then they drive to Median, and then all of the Canadian police, the RCMP or the
No, they're not RCMP. They're the local
provincial cops,
and they're all nuts.
And they're all paramilitary bazookas. Like what? Like.
And then what's his name? Charles Hayde from Hill Street Blues shows up as the chief of police, and he's especially nuts. He just wants to kill everybody.
Yeah.
For some reason.
I knew I recognized him. I couldn't place it. Yeah.
And they're putting
you want me on your trivia team if you ever do trivia.
Yeah.
And they're putting like trip wires and shit. But they're not telling each other that they're doing it.
Trip wires.
Yeah,
and then the drunk priest almost like walks over one. Like what do they? It makes no sense what they're doing.
And also, since when do cops carry around bazookas and Uzis and
claymores? Like those are the mines that the trip wires.
Okay. Yeah.
I always loved it, but the claymore mine on one side it says face towards enemy. So you know where to plant it in the ground.
I knew a guy named Claymore once.
Wes Claymore? Isn't that the
guy
guy
By the way,
from,
guess who
Primus?
played? Can you guess the name of the guy who played the Lone Ranger? Clayton Moore.
Oh.
Well, you didn't give us a chance to guess it. You just said, can you guess it? And you told us immediately.
I did.
Can you guess my favorite color?
Because I knew
orange?
you'd never guess it. And I wanted to put our listeners out of misery.
Maybe we could never guess it. You didn't give us a chance.
It's okay.
Clayton Moore.
I can add like a 2-minute pause there, where it sounds like we're
thinking about it. We're thinking about it. Oh no, they couldn't get it.
So anyway, so they're all up there, and then I think they kill one of the fucking Nightbreeds.
Well, so then it's all mayhem. The cops are shooting the Nightbreeds.
The Nightbreeds offered no resistance. I agree. Like it was the most anticlimactic, boring.
And all of a sudden,
how do you kill the undead? Like they're supposedly dead, but you stab them and they die.
Yeah, and there's a lot of dry ice floating around, so it looks creepy. It's just like they ran out of the budget for the last quarter of the movie.
Yeah. It was like a music.
Like that intro where Clive Barker tries to totally post the whole misunderstood artist thing as to why his vision was compromised by the studio. And he's saying like, oh, they just couldn't accept the film where the undead or the Nightbreed were good. But it's like, no, you handed them a large turd and they tried to
polish it.
Exactly. Yeah. This really you might even notice, I don't know how this will end up through the editing. I'm not speaking much, but this film left me so fucking cold that, I'm just going to say a few things right now. If you love, I hate to just jump ahead of it.
No, do it.
I might recommend this movie under the circumstances that you're a Danny Elfman completist or a Cronenberg completist. Clive Barker, look, he's an interesting enough artist.
He's
I think
a bit of a
you should
weirdo,
see stuff by him. But this movie, it was sheer torture to get through. It was boring and incoherent.
Yeah, I didn't.
The effects are amazing.
Yeah.
The music's great, and I did like Cronenberg, even though he's not a great actor. He's a far better director than actor.
But he was one of the better actors in the movie.
He was,
and his delivery, because it was as cold and calculating, matter of fact, which is a lot of his movies have that, like especially earlier movies have that sort of cold detachment as well.
Yeah,
but I liked him.
Yeah.
But it was and if the guy who can act as a director is the best guy in the movie. Okay, so anyways, so they get to there's a big shooter, and then Cronenberg shows up. And he puts his mask on and he starts killing people.
Yeah,
and
he first kills that cop. Yeah,
yeah. I was like, this is the wrong time to put your mask on.
I know.
They're shooting anyone who looks weird.
It's not like the cops have been paying attention to this fucking
serial
killer.
Because
Calgary is not the size of New York City.
No, it's not.
Calgary is a small city.
Yeah.
If a guy was running around with a machete, bandage face, the town that dreaded sundown, whatever you want, people would know about it. But
because
he's already killed 16 fucking people, and the cops haven't even noticed.
It's not even a big deal. But the thing is, that's not my point. It's because they're just shooting anybody who looks weird because they're all the freaks, and so he's going to make they're going to shoot the guy.
Yeah. I'm going to dress up my S&M gear right now,
so
and go hang out in Medellin.
It's a bad idea. And then he calls the priest a faggot. We're like, really?
Does he?
Yeah. I was like,
he's just calling it like he sees it. He's calling a spade a spade.
And then we're seeing a little like the best of all the Nightbreeders was the Porcupine Lady.
Well, we haven't gotten.
No,
and I'm convinced that she kills Rick Mercer. That cop is Rick Mercer.
You know what? It's a Salter. Is it a Salter Street? Wait a minute.
That's a maritime thing.
Wait. No. I watched another terrible movie.
DEFCON 4?
It was DEFCON 4.
Yeah,
Holy shit!
But that established, that famously, DEFCON 4 was a calculated business move to make an exploitation film to make money for their production company, and it worked.
The best thing about DEFCON 4 is the
poster.
Art. It's like there's an astronaut with a skeleton.
And the thing is, that's never...
It's not even
in the movie. They
world.
filmed it in the Sackville land dump.
I could tell.
The landfill, yeah. But that established those guys.
Filmed it in the Sackville land dump.
The brothers. I'm sorry, their names slipped my mind. But
Wachowski?
They're Oscar winners now. They went on to produce Bowling for Columbine. But sorry, their names slipped my mind. They're two.
Okay. At least if you're going to make a movie, at least make it interesting. That's
and also, DEFCON 4 is like the lowest level. I'm sure that right now it's DEFCON 4 out there.
We're always at DEFCON 4, aren't we? That means like everything's cool?
It means like everything's not
right?
great. Like,
it's never great.
Anyways, the shit's going down.
Everyone's running around,
and then it cuts down to underground.
Yeah.
And the NIGHTBREEDs are just kind of like, we're a bunch of pussies.
Yeah.
So then Boone goes, we need weapons. It's supposed to be this big Braveheart moment. Yeah. And so he goes over to a casket, and he pulls a hunk of wood off, and that's the weapon. And he hands it to one NIGHTBREED. It's like, here, you.
What do I do with this?
Like,
should I build a chair out of it?
Well, you're gonna go fucking swing a 2x4 around with people who have M16s, like.
But then he gets the idea of releasing the berserkers. I
guess it was established earlier that the berserkers are like crazier than shithouse rats.
Yeah,
release the shithouse rats.
Yeah, which of course that's what you want. And the berserkers are okay. They kind of go crazy, and they do some damage. They finally kill Cronenberg.
Yeah, Cronenberg kills the chief of police with a machete.
Well,
it wasn't just a cop; it was the chief.
But it wasn't. But he actually wasn't killed though, because he comes back later. Charles, he shows up later in the movie. He attacks him. I think he thinks he kills him. Excuse me, but he doesn't.
It was anticlimactic because the NIGHTBREED are such wimps.
Yeah, they are until they release the berserkers, and then at least there's somebody that's gonna.
What was that weird flying thing outside the berserker house? They go down to the berserker door and they're gonna open it, and then this weird
berserker room.
It looked like a what's that thing that killed Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter?
Oh, the stingray.
Stingray. It was like a flying stingray.
That's right. Yeah.
And it kind of looked badass. I'm like, well, I thought that was the berserker.
Get that thing going.
Get that thing outside to kill the fucking all the fucking
cops, the
redneck cops,
the Hicks, and all their Hick friends.
And now we start hearing about the prophecy. So finally, Buntha shows up. I guess she's been sleeping in that coffin.
Yeah, she wakes up in a coffin.
Yeah.
That's right.
She had a little coffin nap.
Yeah. Where's Buntha? She's been missing for quite a while.
I guess she's upset because her new best friend got murdered by
David Cronenberg.
Toilet paper face.
And her boyfriend is now like a shirtless NIGHTBREED.
Oh yeah, right. And then they even do that bullshit like, she'll never accept you looking the way you do. Yeah. I'm brooding.
Yeah, because when he
it turns into 90210 all of a sudden.
When he broods, his face turns into a little.
Yeah, it's like he's got an acne opening.
But yeah, he's still pretty good looking. He's just got a lot of marks on his face, which go away after
Yeah, it's like an allergic reaction to being dead. he gets a little polysporin and he's good to go.
Exactly. There's a part where he's running around. He looks like he has like a little piece of paper, or like I thought it was like a name tag or something that was stuck on his chest.
Hello, my name is Broody.
It was like that's why I thought. No, hello, my name is Cabal. I'll be your waiter for the evening.
And this is the first we're hearing about from Cabal.
Yeah, because that's his nickname. He's like he joined a hockey team and they decided to name him Cabal.
Yeah,
for some reason,
or like a gang,
Cable or Cabal or.
So all of a sudden, Axl Rose with ketchup all over his head.
Which guy's that guy?
That's the guy with the dreadlocks.
He was the only badass.
Who looks super promising but doesn't do shit.
No, because he shows up mean, calls the guy meat, takes a bite out of him. Yeah. So you think he's going to be badass. He's going to take all these fucking guys on at the end. And then he just kind of
if I had, Jesus, that much budget on the makeup and all this, why not have them just dominate the film?
Yeah.
They're barely in it, and they're totally, when they're in it, they suck.
So then the berserkers come out, and then they kill everybody, sort of, kind of, and it's not that impressive. And what happens to them? Do they just run out into Alberta?
All the NIGHTBREED?
Berserkers.
The berserkers? No, they
went and started the Natural Law Party or something.
Yeah, they kill everybody, and now they're Jason Kenney and
Stockwell Day.
Stockwell Day, they're the Conservative Party in Alberta.
Buntha and Cornrows are in this cave with paintings all over it.
Right.
And you even see one of the paintings is this loser with a leather jacket.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
and no shirt.
They even saw the leather jacket.
Yeah.
And it's still like a fucking bloody hole in his shirt.
Yeah, it's a little bloody hole, yeah, exactly.
And it's like, no, he's actually cabal, which is ludicrous because the word cabal
doesn't mean like a whole bunch of witches.
It means like gang. Yeah, it's like a coven.
Yeah.
There's a lot of biblical references. Back to that lame ass fucking preacher, by the way.
Oh yeah, he gets like a big gloop of hot soup in his face or something like that.
Oh he gets jizz all over his head.
Yeah. Hot face melting jizz.
So then Baboon goes way below. And then there's like this weird blue statue thing.
Yeah, I didn't really understand what's going on anymore.
It's like something out of an Andrew Lloyd Webber musical. It's like, Boone's even like, I am Cabal, and his eyes all glow blue.
But there's nobody in the room to hear him say that.
Yeah.
Like, who's he saying that to?
It's like in The Dark Knight Rises.
The stupidest movie.
When he's talking to a Catwoman on the roof, and he's talking like this, and then she zips away, and he turns around, he goes, oh. And he goes, so that's what that feels like. Like, why is he using the voice?
I know. There's nobody there anymore.
I guess you get locked into the voice, though.
I like the scene when he finally shows back up in New York or Gotham, whatever, and he takes the time to do the big bat sign and fire on the bridge. Yeah. It probably took him, 8 hours to do.
Yeah, while public servants are being fucking thrown into the icy water, murdered.
But it's a nice dramatic entrance.
I like the fact that you can cure paralysis through sit-ups and push-ups. Dark Knight Rises is one of the worst big budget films.
It's so terrible.
And such a letdown after Dark Knight, which was amazing.
Which is pretty good. Actually, I like the first one the best. Anyways, let's get back to this movie.
So yeah, he goes down in the prophecy.
And everything starts to explode for some reason.
And I don't even know what Buntha's doing at this point.
But Buntha's trying to get out of there. I don't know.
I think Tapeworm and Head dies at some point. And that stupid fat guy with the dumb fucking he's like, oh god.
Which
the guy with the hideous tentacles. It's like finally you have somebody with some goddamn something terrifying and threatening and gross. Uh-huh. And he's like, I have weapons, and they're like, what are you talking about? And all of a sudden, his stomach opens up in these disgusting tentacles.
And then they just wrap around his head.
Yeah, and that's it. And he's like, But then he goes out, and he's facing a bunch of cops with machine guns, and he's like, and they're not shooting him because he's going, wait a minute,
I got something to show you.
And then his hideous stomach fucking
slowly.
Same cops who've already killed a guy for supposedly having a gun that you don't even see. Yeah. But they can't react to a guy.
And then I like when his tentacles went in the guy's eyes. That was good. At least they showed that. But it was pointless because it was stupid. So it took away all the dramatic effect because it was dumb.
Paperface.
Uh-huh.
They have a fight.
Which guy's Paperface?
At Cronenberg.
Yeah, he gets killed by one of the berserkers, right?
No, fucking
Boone kills him.
Boone kills him.
Boone, it's so lame. Boone gets stabbed through the back, and a knife comes out his belly, and then he grabs and
hugs him.
Cronenberg's about to fall to his death anyway, and he grabs him,
and then hugs him,
and then he hugs him,
and then pushes him off the cliff,
and then pushes him, and then he falls like 80 feet onto a table. It's like, what was the point of that?
I guess apparently in the first cut of this movie that was in the theaters, he comes back to life.
Who?
Cronenberg.
Really?
Yeah, he's resurrected as a NIGHTBREED or something like that at the end of the theatrical, but he's left for dead in this one. So after everything's been destroyed, and then Buntha is in the field with Boone, and she wants to become a NIGHTBREED. She's got like a knife, and I wrote, you might want to just think this over a little bit before you actually just go ahead and stab yourself.
Maybe ask a couple of questions about the process, or maybe you have to have been born
just
in a certain family.
Just think about it. If you don't, he's your boyfriend. I get it. You're young, you're in love, but there's going to be other boyfriends.
Yeah,
you don't have to kill yourself.
She goes and kills herself, and she's like, no, I'll come back. He's like, ooh, never on Wednesdays.
He looks at his watch.
She dies, and then he falls to his knees. Yeah. Just when I thought they'd used every cliche.
Yeah.
No!
Yeah.
Like, oh, Jesus, Clive. Do you see what you're fucking making?
I know.
And this is like Return of the King, like ending after end. It's just end the fucking movie.
Yeah, actually, the last scene in the movie is my favorite. So Buntha and Boone, they're young monsters in love. They're gonna be the leaders of the NIGHTBREEDs, and then they show up at a farm. The surviving neighbors are just living in a barn.
They're hanging out in a barn.
I guess they're living in a barn now.
The next wind.
Yeah.
When is that?
Whenever the wind blows.
No, the next wind. When is that? And then she goes, in a few days? Like, well, why don't you just say in a few days? The next wind. Not to eat beans? Like, what is this weird NIGHTBREED Yiddish? Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. Oh, and then Father Atmosphere goes down, and for no reason...
Wasn't he dead? Or no, he wasn't dead,
he goes wandering down because now he's having a crisis of faith or some shit. Because he doesn't believe in the Bible anymore because the cop was mean to him once.
Aww.
And so he goes down there, and then there's this pool of like mysterious blue bubbling whatever, and he's like, I better lean my face right over that. And then he just sort of like, what happens? Like there's an earthquake and it flies up into his face.
He's covered like this happened a little bit before that, but yeah, he's covered in like blue soup goo. I don't remember that at all.
Do you even know
I've seen the movie.
That the priest came back? And
no.
The priest is now a fucking...
Okay,
the priest became a NIGHTBREED because he got that blue goo in the face.
He's going to become buddies with Buntha and...
No, he's all evil now.
But they're all NIGHTBREED.
Well, he's a NIGHTBREED too.
Well, actually, I was reading about this. This is supposed to be the first of a trilogy that Clive Barker is going to make.
Thankfully, never got made.
So the movie's over.
We haven't talked about the lamest thing.
Oh, I thought we have.
Finally, the goddamn movie is over and it goes to black. And then there's that thank you at the end.
Oh, yeah, that was weird.
It's just like, thank you to the non-haters.
Clive Barker and the guy that helped him, Mac Miller, or Barney Miller.
Like, why do I care? Why are you showing me this?
No.
I get it. The studio hated your movie. And then they re-released it. I mean, the fact that this thing is being repackaged and resold as a director's cut, it's a piece of shit.
The thing is, I was excited to watch it because I like the box art's great. It's a director's cut. You've heard about this, It's like finally, because I remember watching it before, and I thought it was pretty bad. I thought, oh well, maybe the director's cut will make it a good movie. Maybe this is what the director wanted us to see, and it'll be cool.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, no, I was pretty disappointed with it.
I wasn't even disappointed, but it was
boredom.
No, it was curiosity. Well, yes, it was boredom. Mm-hmm. But also, I was a little bit flabbergasted and confused that Clive Barker had anything to do with this.
It's his baby. He fucked this movie into existence. The book. He grew it into a teenager, and then
he's defending his fucking lame ass basement dwelling loser son.
He should have died in a car accident.
Yeah, and I also agree with you, Darren. I remember, like I said, I had flashes, sort of memories of this movie or whatever, and I remember, it's a title you hear about in the world of video and cult cinema and stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's come up, and I always thought that too. Gee, I bet you that was a lot got lost in the studio. The badness that I seem to recall around this movie can be explained by the fact of studio interference, but no. It's what I said earlier. They were handed a huge pile of excrement, and they tried to polish it into a nice shiny.
You can't polish a turd, exactly. There's a lot of things that could have gone right for this. Like I like the idea of the sort of these monsters hiding out from humanity because they're the ones that are afraid of humanity because humanity is like terrible and
put
evil
them
and
there
stuff.
in the first place.
Yeah, and but the thing is, when they actually got to the point where they had to. They had no balls. They had no. There's nothing. There's nothing to like about the monsters.
You know what? And you know what they didn't even have. Which okay. If you're a bunch of pacifist, loser, freak monsters, whatever, and that's the point is like, oh, they only look like weirdos, but they have hearts of gold. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna do that, then at least the fucking redneck douchebag cops come. When the cops come in. And they're coming after your fucking your mini golf cart that you live in.
You live in the mini golf cart. Of course.
Anyways,
you live underneath
instead of then do the non-lethal thing where it's like you know what it should have been like at the end of Beauty and the Beast when all the fucking you never saw Beauty and the Beast?
Not interested. I know the story.
You own a video store and you haven't seen Beauty and the Beast.
Yep.
Yeah, it was Linda Hamilton, Ron Perlman.
The end of Beauty and the Beast, all of the townspeople rise up and they're like, kill the beast, and they attack the enchanted castle, and all of the enchanted
toys
people,
and teacups and stuff.
They have these non-lethal ways, very creative ways of scaring away the townspeople. Apply that to Nightbreed, where it's like, oh, we don't kill because we're the pussy-ass Nightbreed. Well, then at least like be super
scary or something.
Like use their prejudice against them or something. But instead, there's one character who shoots some fucking spikes
and things is she
kills a Rick Mercer lookalike. I'm convinced it's Rick Mercer.
And she's only there to do like one or two guys, and then that's it. That's it. So when I say do, I mean kill.
Yeah.
Not
yeah. Give me the Nightbreed who are actually the victims, because that's allegedly what the point of this movie was. Yep. You know, using their intelligence and
make it clever, running around and shooting at each other, and everyone going crazy. And it was so boring and so poorly filmed too. Because, like, as I said, Clive Barker should not direct the movie. But when we're talking about, like, even, like, Hellraiser, it was probably his best movie, but I didn't even think that it was that good. It was like a soap opera with, like, a lot of weird, creepy shit in it.
I was, like, 11 when I saw it, and it was so gory, and, and it came out in, like, 86.
Yeah, a little young to...
Well, yeah. Well, that was the idea. As a kid, you always want to see the thing a couple of years before you're supposed to.
Yep. I was obsessed with Alien when I was, I guess I was 12. Was it 1979? 79. So I would have been 14 when Alien came out. I couldn't get enough of that scene where the chest burster scene. So it's awesome.
Anyways, back to this pointless piece of crap.
Yes.
Yeah, so they don't even like combat the bad guys in a meaningful way. It's just a big, stupid fucking free-for-all.
It could have been good. It wasn't. Unfortunately.
All right. So
I think we're all on board with saying we cannot recommend it.
I wouldn't recommend it.
No.
But I would say if somebody came and brought it up to the counter, I'd be like, yeah, you know, I didn't like it, but there's some really great creature effects.
I agree there.
It's a curiosity of the time. It's still not very good, but you know, if you want to watch it, I'm not going to stop you.
I would help someone find it. I would never recommend it.
You point on the shelf,
and I would say, hey,
it's over there. Go get
it.
Hey,
look. I mean, hey, it's a chance to see Cronenberg act.
Which is very rare, actually.
Success. It is.
Because you don't see them in movies very often.
And, I mean, the effects are great. Yeah. No one can deny the awesome makeup.
Yeah.
And, you know, it is Clive Barker, but, I mean, you know, a named director. And
it falls
short. That's exactly what I was going to say. It falls short.
So, D.
Yeah.
It's Monday here at Black Dog Video, which is 2 for 1. And a customer walks up with a copy of Nightbreed and is looking for a complimentary film. What would you recommend they pick up?
I struggle a little bit with this one because, you know, I want to come with something sort of similar but not too similar. The one I would recommend to pair this one would be the everyone's going to roll their eyes, but I can say the original Wicker Man.
I'm not going to roll my eyes. I'm just going to scratch my head.
I'm just going to scratch my head because the original Wicker Man's a masterpiece.
It's a masterpiece, but it's also a kind of like these people are hiding from society, and so society doesn't trying to encroach a bit on them, and they fight back. But this is a better fighting back movie because it's.
And there's actual nudity in the original. You get to see Britt Eklund's body double's ass.
I love The Wicker Man, and I remember the first time I saw it was on television way back in the day, like late 70s, early 80s or something, and it blew my mind. And it's always been one of my favorite
it's a great choice.
Movies of these genres, but it kind of has a kind of sort of similar themes. It's a way better movie, of course.
It's one of my favorite films of all time.
Yeah. So I would say watch The Wicker Man.
What about you, Alex?
Well, I would pick 2 choices. Either track down the original Nightbreed.
Just one. It's not 3 for 1. Anyway, sorry, my friend. Carry on.
2 choices. Either look up the original release of Nightbreed for a study
is it
director's cuts versus studio cuts. We used to have it.
Yeah.
Or I would pair it with Maximum Overdrive for another example of a horror writer who failed as a director.
Yeah.
Pardon me. Also, we don't have it.
Please
redo that
for the sake of editing. Please say that again.
Okay, well, stop cutting me off, please. I would recommend it either with the original cut of Nightbreed for a study in director's cuts versus studio cuts, or I would pair it with Maximum Overdrive, directed by Stephen King, because it's another example of a horror.
Oh, Jesus, Alex.
A horror writer.
Can you say it without farting, for the love of God?
Jesus, stop it. For a horror writer failing as a director. Or I would also put another one that we don't carry, Tough Guys Don't Dance. Tough Guys Don't Dance.
Norman Mailer.
Directed by Norman Mailer. It's horrible.
Is it? Yeah. But the thing is, like, if you say your pairing would be the director's cut of Nightbreed and the original, maybe people have to sit through Nightbreed.
That's why I'd really go with Maximum Overdrive, because we don't have the original cut of Nightbreed anymore. We might have it at Canby, but Maximum Overdrive we do have.
It's a terrible film. And yeah, Stephen King had no business directing that.
Listener, you are probably a movie person like we are, so you already have seen the thing I'm about to recommend that you
we
check
have one
out.
listener. That's why.
Yes, listener Nick.
Nick's at home going.
You've already he probably is.
Yeah.
YouTube the trailer for Maximum Overdrive. If you've never seen it, it's Stephen King introducing it, super coked out, and he's complaining about how all these directors have been ruining his movies. You know, like Cronenberg.
Oh, who made one of the better?
Brian De Palma.
Yeah,
right?
The two guys that made probably arguably the best of the and Rob Reiner.
So he's all like, I realized if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself. That's why I personally directed Maximum Overdrive. And then at the very end, it zooms into his face and he just goes, I'm going to scare the hell out of you.
Yeah, he points. Like he puts down Carrie even, and that's a masterpiece.
It's a
and Kubrick too. At this point, he probably because The Shining was before Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, those hacks, Stanley Kubrick.
He called
terrible directors.
The Shining a big beautiful Cadillac with no motor.
He's got a point, though.
Yeah, I will always argue that The Shining is not the movie that people think it is. Oh yeah, what do you recommend?
My recommendation is it's the obvious one, and I can't believe that neither of you went for this. But I would say, you're getting Nightbreed. First of all, don't.
I get Nightbreed too.
Get any other two movies.
Yeah.
No. I would recommend the same idea, done better, and it is the Fred Savage, Howie Mandel vehicle,
Wizards?
Little Monsters.
I've never seen Little Monsters.
Do we have Little Monsters?
We do.
No.
Yeah.
We don't?
Do we?
I think we do.
I don't know.
Pretty sure we do.
Little Monsters is Fred Savage is a kid, and he discovers...
He's always a kid.
Monsters Inc. ripped this fucking movie off too, because
Monsters,
Fred Savage discovers that under his bed at night is like a portal to this underground monster land, which is so much better realized, and it's such a more interesting story. I know you think I'm joking.
No, I don't think
Little
you're joking
Monsters
at all.
But Little Monsters is Cabal for kids.
You can say anything is a better movie than this. I'd be on.
Oh, and they go all over the world because they discover that you can like that. So they go to visit China and Australia and all this shit just by crawling up under kids' beds and all. It sounds kind of creepy and weird. And Howie Mandel is this sort of like outcast.
Now it
monster.
sounds creepy and weird.
Anyways, I would say don't rent Nightbreed, rent Little Monsters, and then anything else.
I guess that about wraps this edition of Black Dog
After Dark or
night.
Black Dog Video After Dark podcast.
Podcast, yes.
So thank you for listening, folks.
Yeah, hope this was a good one. Yeah. Anyways,
I don't know.
Shall we sign off?
I felt good about that.
Yeah.
1470 Commercial Drive in sunny Vancouver.
3451 Canby Street between 18th and 19th, across the street from the Park Theater.
Right across from the park.
Please come by, keep us going.
Yeah.
Every little bit helps. Yeah. So, do we have time to go for the last call?
I think we do. So I'm Dylan Reimer.
Darren Gay.
Alex. That sounded painful.
Yeah.
It's because Dylan's grabbing my balls.
I just like that noise you make. The Black Dog After Dark podcast is recorded at Black Dog Video on Commercial Drive in Vancouver, Canada. It's presented by Alex Chisholm, Darren Gay, and Dylan Reimer. It is produced by Dylan Reimer and Darren Gay. Alex just kind of stands there and drinks beer. The intro and outro music was recorded by Tiger Burning Bright, composed by Jeff, who works at Jefferson's Barbershop, also on Commercial Drive.
I'm gonna scare the hell out of you.